Just for your, knowledge, there's probably 1,200, 1,500 of these talks I've given on Facebook and YouTube. It's like a library of, in-depth talks about Kundalini, yoga, Tantra, karma, just basic living. That's there for anybody who needs them. And you just have to click on, they're all free of charge. And you can really tune into these things. Does anyone have a question?
I have a question I'd like to ask Stuart.
Yes,
The discussion we had earlier today about karma, uh, one of my students has been asking me to further, well, she reads a lot, and she reads like this guy, Dofri John and Rajneesh, these guys that claim that they're free of karma and they can free you of karma. Would you talk about that a little bit, please?
uh, how do I talk about this, Pat? What these people teach is none of my business.
Yeah, sure.
And she has to read, yeah, tell her to read my books. A different approach to, spiritual practice.
Yeah,
So I don't know what to say about that, Pat. I really don't. I mean, I'm not here to comment on Rajneesh. I mean, I've known people that have done that Osho type stuff.
yeah,
Even in Pune once, I was going to go to his center, in Pune, but I decided not to do it.
sure.
I don't know. I mean, look, there are a lot of different teachers. They all have. Julie, can you try to sit still? It disrupts the class if people move. They fidget. I I'm not here to comment on that. She reads these books and has to make her own decisions and come to a place in herself where she, not understands karma, because you never can understand karma, but
Mhm.
where it simply becomes a living reality,
Yes,
you know? And God can free us of karma. I don't know about Rajneesh and whoever else you mentioned, if they can free us of karma. We have to learn how to build an inner life that is strong enough to truly get connected with infinite energy in the universe. That energy alone frees us of karma.
yes,
A teacher's job is not to free us of this, to teach us how to do it. That's the job of a guru. Not I am all enlightened and perfect, and I will show you. Here is a way of you developing your inner life so that you can build, a connection with what's infinite in the universe and free yourself from karma. So I just I don't get what a lot of these people teach. I stopped going to them years ago.
Mhm.
I mean, I went all over India and I sat with gurus here and swamis and rinpoches and kinds of people. And I finally stopped doing it, because I never met anyone who was able to touch the subject as profoundly as the person that I studied with. And he never talked about freeing you from your karma, talked about helping you to build an inner life that was strong enough so that you as a human being can have your own individual connection with higher energy in the universe. And if that's your karma, that's your karma. I don't know how you ever get free of karma. I mean, frankly, as long as you're alive here, there's going to be karma. And as I said earlier, the wonderful thing about karma is that it's totally dependent upon the amount of work a human being does on himself or herself. if you truly do deep spiritual work, you change your karma. And eventually you transcend your karma. How do you transcend your karma? You have to become nothing inside. You have to surrender everything. Everything you have to be detached from all of the Maya, all of the illusion, all of the images of what light brings to us every day. That's how you get free. Now that requires an enormous effort. And it's not just lip service, it really has to do with learning how to build the kind of inner life that gets you strong enough to stay connected with spiritual energy consciously, not as something you read in a book or something that's an intellectual understanding, but as a living organic principle of how you each day live your life. So again, I can't comment on what other people teach, because I don't know if what they teach is right or wrong. A lot of people listen to these people. Certainly Rajneesh has had probably 1,000 times more students than I've ever had. I mean, I know I've known people who studied with him, and I went to a Rajneesh place once in Paris where they had monitors and he was talking and everybody was they do this kind of bouncing meditation, they bounce up and down.
Right.
And I don't, and I never could connect with it. So I stopped going. But if it works for people, God bless them. Anything that works, I am 100% for. Anything in this crazy world that we live in that helps a person to grow spiritually. I am not here to judge what techniques people use. I'm here to find out what works for me and do it, and be sure I commit myself every day to doing it. But I'm not here to comment on what other people do and what works for them and how they do and all that stuff. That is for each individual human being to find out for themselves. But I will say one thing, if you find something that works for you, do it. Do it. Don't put it off. Time goes by very fast, especially as you get older.
Mhm.
Do it. Work at it. And it doesn't have to be fanatical. You don't have to sit 12 hours and meditate every day. I mean, if you do, for instance, this work, if you sit down for a half hour a day and come to as many meditation classes as you can make in your schedule, I mean, that half hour, will give you, so much energy. And if you do it consistently and come to classes, the amount of energy that gets compiled inside you is so extraordinary that it really changes your karma. You begin to see the world differently because the chakra system is developed. In order to do it, one has to gradually develop a really strong chakra system. Heart, mind, breath, throat,
Mm.
the chi, the power below the navel, the centeredness, and sexual energy. All this is really powerful energy. And without inner development, it drives people crazy. Sexual energy drives people crazy. Mental energy drives people crazy. Emotional energy drives people crazy. We have to learn to quiet the chaos and learn how to use that energy to build a system inside that's strong enough to connect with what's infinite in the universe. Otherwise, it's just chaos. And I think in today's world, chaos rules the world because so few people are connected to this kind of thing. So what you have is chaos. Look what goes on in life. It's just unbelievable.
Yes.
That's karma. Yes. I made a decision years ago. I'm not going to attach myself to that karma. Because it all changes. Everything passes. It's all nonsense. And yet a lot of people get killed and hurt. And, it's just, I mean, look, I had a class this afternoon, right? And there was 5, 6 people in the class from Israel. And all of a sudden, every one of them disappeared. Cameras went off and this and that, and they disappeared. And they came back. I found out they were sirens are going off, and Houthis or somebody, Hamas, was sending bombs across Israel. I mean, it's madness. And yet I knew something happened because they all at once disappeared, just vanished. And they were being attacked. Now, who's right or wrong there? I don't know. Who's crazy? Yeah, that's pretty apparent. They're all crazy. And yet these are people I feel very close to. I love. I've known some of them for 25 years, 20 years. And they have to go down in the cellar and hide because they might get blown up. Does anyone else, well, I don't know, I get into this, but does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
Life is the greatest teacher. I've been talking about this now for a year. Life is the greatest teacher. And we have to be able to listen and embrace everything it teaches us, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and the ugly. Because everything it teaches us is one pointed: get stronger in yourself and more connected to what's infinite in the universe. Learn how to keep your heart open. Learn how to keep your mind quiet. Learn how to truly be centered in the chakra below the navel, where there's harmony, there's balance, there's rootedness, there's the power, to truly live consciously in the world. Learn how to master your sexual energy, because it's the energy of rebirth. It's the energy that activates Kundalini, and it's the energy of the merging of yin and yang, male, female, Shiva, Shakti, and gives birth to a spiritual life. Everything teaches us that. And the alternative is get sucked into the Maya. And we have to learn how to get strong enough to live in this crazy world. I mean, even in the Bible, they say, give to Caesar what's Caesar's, give to God what's God's.
Mm.
Be grateful to Caesar. You pay the rent, you go buy food, you do this, you do that, and life provides. Be grateful for it. Give to Caesar, Caesar's due. Give to God, God's due. Be a point connected between the two, the external world and infinite energy in the universe. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, and last but not least, just be happy. Yeah, that's the goal. Happy people are enlightened people. Does anyone else have a question? And don't force yourself to be happy. Let it come from deep inside. Organically, with gratitude.
Mm.
Does anyone else have a question? Okay, then I'll stop asking that question. Okay, there'll be class again on Sunday. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here, being in my life, being part of this growing process that goes on here. God bless you all. Looking forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you so much, Stuart.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank
you, Stuart.
you.
Good night.
We're still here.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Oh, here I am.
Okay.
There you are.
Yeah.